Hi, I'm Kathleen.
And I'm Sean.
And you're listening to the Dead Baby Bear podcast.
Dead Baby Bear.
Ooh.
Long story. Is this thing on?
Are we on?
Doing it. Final pod.
Final pod. Yeah, what if we get to 99 and then just like, that's it?
That would be, we should go out Kurt Cobain style.
Kill
you know
ourselves?
what I mean? Right after In Utero. Yeah, you know. Well, did he kill himself? That's a mystery.
That is a mystery. He died on my birthday.
Did he really?
Yeah, April 5th.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That's so sad because now every April 25th it's like,
April 5th.
April whatever the fuck it is. Who cares? Who gives a shit when you were born? Were you full term? I like those when she was a premature. Were you a full term bitch?
No, I was a full.
How was you? What kind of gestational period?
I was an overcooked turkey. They had to pull me out.
An overcooked turkey.
I didn't want to leave. I was having
Through
a
the
great
mouth?
Time. Yeah.
Oh no. Is that what happens after 9 months?
Sorry, it's not breech, but it does have to go out the mouth.
Yeah, oh boy, she's in your stomach now. What the fuck? You're going to have to puke her out. I'm going to puke my daughter out. That's correct.
Oh my God, imagine if that's how we gave birth. Yuck.
Yeah, that'd be, I don't know, you'd fuck just as much. You know what I mean? It wouldn't change fucking patterns. Weirdly, right? You'd think if every woman had to give birth out of their mouth, they'd fuck less, but...
No, I fucked a lot, and I have never had kids, and I'm fine.
No, I just mean like if there was that extra sort of like thing in your mind of like, careful, don't get pregnant, because it comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
You know? But I don't know.
It
I don't know what you do.
does seem like a horrifying experience that I don't I still am just like, who's like, yay, I'm so excited to have something come out of my vagina.
It's just natural. It's like sleep. It's like sleep, you know. It is.
Thanks for mansplaining birth to me.
Well, I mean, like, I just
probably
don't get it. I don't get sleep either. I don't know why the fuck do we go to bed?
But sleep
Doesn't
is
make
nice
sense.
and relaxing. Pushing a human out of your genitals is not nice and relaxing.
Is sleep good? No. Getting tired makes us need to sleep, but sleep isn't good. Like, alleviating tiredness is good. Like, if we never got tired, you wouldn't be like, fuck, I wish I could just power down and be passive for 9 hours. You know what I mean? Like, you'd be like, hey, I'm up. And we're up. We're all up, and we're up for good.
It'd be nice if we have an on and off switch.
No. I'm just saying, like, the only reason you like sleep is because of, you know, your body gets tired, and then you're like, oh, the only thing I can do is lay down forever and just sleep. But sleep isn't good. I can't believe that it hasn't been sort of bred out of us. Why do we still need the same amount of sleep as we always did?
Well, we don't. I think there's like, you just
We're
have
all
to
taller.
You should take drugs and stuff if you don't want to sleep.
No, but you're still fucked. I read this sleep study thing where this guy, he studied dementia and Alzheimer's, and that was his specialty in science, like his extra speciality.
Yeah.
And then he ended up studying sleep because he thought that Alzheimer's and dementia caused people to have like bad sleep patterns or not sleep as much. And then he realized it was one of the main causes. Oh. Like not getting enough sleep over the course of your life eventually fries your fucking brain and you get Alzheimer's and dementia.
Oh my God.
So get a good sleep tonight, Kathleen.
Okay, I'll try my best.
What are your sleep patterns like? What kind of sleeper are you? Are you a napper?
I like to nap. I usually wake up at like 4 a.m. And then I get back to sleep for a little bit. And then I get back to sleep at like 6. And then I'm supposed to be up at like 9, but I'm too tired to wake up. It's not a good pattern.
4 a.m. For what?
I don't know. I just wake up.
Bowel thing?
It's not a bowel thing.
You're not night shitting? You're not a night shitter?
I'm not a night shitter.
That would be the worst.
Just having to
when
shit
you
in
get
the
the
middle
night
of the night.
shits. Because, I mean, we always think about, wet dreams. That's inconvenient.
Yeah.
But what about a shit dream where you're just like, uh-oh, I shit my pants in my sleep? I don't know, though. I think, would you rather be a bedwetter or a bed shitter? Because I think bed shitter, it stinks, but it doesn't spread as much.
Yeah, a bedwetter will ruin a mattress.
Oh, yeah. And you can't hide it from anybody.
A bed shitter, yeah.
You can wait. Everybody else is asleep, so they kind of wake up and they come out of REM a little bit because of the smell of human shit. but they never like come out of like, they never fully come out of it.
I always hear stories of people like were like, I went out, got so drunk, and I woke up and I vomited all over my bed and myself. I'm like, and you don't remember that? Like you wake up and you're like, what's all this vomit?
Oh
like,
yeah, I know.
That has never happened to me.
Oh, I've woken up
covered in vomit.
Covered in vomit. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And not remembered. Been like, huh?
How did this happened?
I think there was a one time also where I'm sort of pretending I don't remember, because it's weird. But I think I got one time I woke up and was like, I gotta puke. Then I was like, well, it's happening here. Because I was just too trashed, right?
Oh my God.
I wasn't gonna get up and save myself.
Yeah.
I was fucked.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I'm puking right here.
Oh my God.
Why don't I move my head over to an area where I really feel like I'm not gonna put my body?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'll puke in the corner like a kitty cat in a litter box.
Oh, it's so gross.
Yeah, so that happened one time.
Have you ever shit the bed?
No.
Where's that? Where does that term come from? Shit the bed.
Just like watching our comedy, or if somebody were to come to a live show, or virtual. I had to do like a pre-recorded one. Those are the dumbest. That's the dumbest. Never do that. Never submit to a pre-record.
Yeah, that sounded awful when you explained it to me.
That's the worst.
So how did it go?
I didn't ever thought about it because I just thought like, oh, I don't care. I'll just talk into the fucking like. I do a podcast every week where I assume 90% of the people who tune in shut it off before it's over.
Yeah.
So I obviously don't give too much of a shit about people hating me, but I did it, but then they get to say like, no, thanks, try again.
Oh my God.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that's the nature of a pre-record. They get to
do it
fucking
again?
Yeah, and I'm like, well, but if this was a live show or if this was like a regular virtual show, everybody who's ever booked either one of us at the end of it would say, I liked about 83% of it.
Yeah.
There was 17 I could live without. And then if they said, well, what if I told you there's a fucking time machine here and we could go back and you could just tell her to cut that 17% out?
Yeah.
They'd be like, sure. But they don't get to do that. But on a pre-record, they can. They can be like, sorry, it wasn't good. The one part. Okay. Well, how about you fast forward that part?
Yeah, cut it out.
You got it right there. And then they were like, it's also supposed to be 20 minutes and this is 26. And I'm like, well, why don't I show you where the fucking magic of the stop button comes in? Because you can go ahead and shut that off yourself, Catherine.
At any time.
You know what I mean? You can go ahead and do it. Yeah, but what if it catches you mid-word? Like, who gives a fuck?
Who cares? No one's listening to me anyway.
Yeah, no. But it's okay. Like, because maybe I'm bombing. Like, some of those I'm sure I'm bombing.
Yeah, but that's kind of nice to not know that you are. You could just be grocery shopping and bombing at the same time.
Well, and one of the ones they asked me to take out that was like, please remove any references to violence.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, violence? What violence? And they're like, oh, that time when you showed on the screen a man with a gun. And I was like showing like some DVD. I like pulled out here's my dad's DVDs, everybody. Look at this. And then it was like Crank 1 or something. And they said, please remove any references to violence. Oh, my God. Because there was a Crank 1 DVD cover.
Oh, God. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And it was like Crank 1 and Crank 2. So I was like, hey, Crank 1 and Crank 2. Like, I always think it's dumb when there's always like an action movie that's Crank 2, but why shouldn't Crank 2 just be filling out insurance paperwork from all the damage they did in Crank 1? And then, I thought, oh, that's kind of fun. And then, no. Shut it off. Take it out. Oh, my
God.
And then they wanted me to do something. They were like, be more festive. We want more. And I was like, okay, but you said no Christmas references. And they're like, that's right, because some of us aren't Christian.
Oh, my God.
And they like to think that Christmas doesn't exist.
Corporate comedy is worse than ever.
Well, the thing that doesn't make sense is like, even if you're not Christian, you understand Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you can't.
You probably celebrate.
Yeah. Yeah,
or even if you don't celebrate, even if you celebrate Hanukkah, we still know about Hanukkah. I'm not going to say.
And you're not Christphobic.
How dare you?
You're not a Christphobe.
Well, some people are.
Well, I guess I sort of am.
Yeah, you're a bit of a Christ phobe.
But I don't give a fuck. Like you can't hear reference to Christ. It's everywhere.
I'm everywhere. So tired of people's feelings. I don't care if your feelings get hurt. I don't care anymore. You have to worry about everybody in the crowd has to fill out a survey of what hurts them, and then no one's gonna be able to talk anymore.
If you're a Muslim wwho comes from Islamabad to Canada, you're not like, I hope we don't hear too much about Christ.
Yeah.
Like, of course you are.
Yeah.
You're coming to Christville. All these fucking whiteys think Christ is super real and happening.
Soon it's going to be like, comedy's going to be choose your own adventure. And we're like, would you like to hear a joke about dogs or a joke about this?
It's funny because like regular comedy has become like another version of corporate Christmas comedy.
Yeah.
Like for the first time. Like it used to be like Christmas corporates, fundraisers. That's where you had your Christian moms that were like, please refrain from using the F word bombs. The F word, you mean Fukushima? You think I have a fucking, you think I have a military grade arsenal in my, but even fuck, they're like, fuck, what is fuck? Like, fuck you.
You can say fuck on CBC.
So if somebody says fuck, then it's still context, right? Yeah. If it's fuck you, fuck yourself, fuck your mother, that's bad. If it's fuck me, fuck sakes, fuck around, that's not that bad.
I can't keep up with all this.
And then if it's fuck cancer, then it's good. People
and you can put it on a t-shirt.
You should put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, because frig cancer isn't strong enough language for what cancer's done to us. You know what I mean? If we're running around like, screw cancer, people will be like, have you ever lost anybody?
Cancer's
Yeah, I've lost my dad and my mom. Like, okay, well, drop the screw, dude.
Stop
like,
being such a dink, cancer.
Cancer. Yeah. Frig you, cancer of the abdomen.
Frig cancer.
You took my grandmother and my mother. Go frig yourself, cancer. So fuck is the perfect word as long as cancer comes after it. Or sakes, I think.
It's just such a weird world right now because it's like some people are allowed to say that, but others aren't. Like if you're on TikTok, you see all these people like they'll do a video that's the same as someone else, and then they'll take that person's down, but they won't take another. So it's like there's no clear rules anymore, but there is rules for everything. But there's no clear rules, but there's just rules for everything now, and it's just like I just don't want to. I can't.
Yeah, and it's like once you've already, who gives a shit about ownership if somebody's already famous from the stuff they stole, right?
Yeah.
So it's like the whole thing is fame and notoriety and monetizing platforms. So it's like, you stole that. Like, okay, well, sorry, but I already have the 11.3 million followers.
Oh, TikTok is destroying creativity. Like, someone will be creative on there, but then 100 other people will steal it. Like, and it's so funny now because there are people now saying like, oh, I started that trend and this person stole it and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, you've put this out there and you're like, here you go.
I love it. Yeah.
You just want views. You don't care about like making money off it. You're just like, I always want 1 million views. Well, it got 1 million views and I didn't get any credit for it. I'm like, what? Like you put it out there like that. Like you.
I did. Well, it's funny because that's always. Remember in stand-up, that always happened. Yeah. Where you'd have old headliners that'd be like, "Yeah, sometimes you're gonna hear me do something, and you might think it's a street joke, but I actually wrote it." And you're like, "Oh, is that right? Like that's correct."
Oh yeah.
People used to say, "Where did you learn to whisper? A warehouse?" And then I was like, "Well, helicopters are louder." So then I changed it to "Where did you learn to whisper? A helicopter?" And people went bananas, and then everybody stole it off of me.
I love it when somebody tries to claim a hack joke like they wrote it. There was a comic that did that they said that they wrote that. Somebody was on stage and they said, "Oh, the lights are so bright I can see my dead relatives." And then he came off stage, and then this guy came up to him after. He's like, "I fucking wrote that bit. That is my bit." And he's like, "That's not your bit. Like that's the most stock line ever."
Is it a stock line?
It's a pretty stock line.
Yeah, because that's what I've always been bad at is knowing what material is.
Yeah, sometimes you have no idea if they thought of it themselves or not.
I'm like, that guy's good.
Yeah.
And then people are like, nah, half of it's stolen. And I'm like, from where?
The internet.
The world. I don't recognize it from any other comedian's act. Like, well, Sean, the world's bigger than that.
I wonder if we're going to start seeing people come out to do comedy night with all stolen material, but then they're like, no, this is fine. This is how comedy's done now. You know what I mean?
Well, guys used to do that with Hedberg, right? You'd have people that
they sold his entire persona.
Because we probably had people that we probably talked about on the podcast before, but we would have people that would start and they would just be doing straight up Hedberg. Like it was always amazing to me how many people would start doing stand up and act like there wasn't going to be any resistance to them doing that.
Wasn't there an improviser that did that at the comic strip? Like he just came and literally just word for word did Hedberg.
Documents.
And he thought that, but did someone confront him or did he?
I think people were like, hey, or like the crowd was like, that was cool. And then I think 1 or 2 comedians were like, yeah, that's like pretty much straight up Hedberg. Yeah. And then he was just like, you guys know Hedberg? Like, yeah. Like that's literally like
he was so underground that no other comedian.
Well, I mean, we've talked about it before. It's usually they think of like Chappelle, 5 or 6 other comedians, them, their buddies.
Yeah.
Like, they don't think about anybody that's like us, that's in the middle. You don't know who the fuck they are, but they've been around doing it.
Yeah.
So I think he thought, like, you know, I'll be able to just do this I guess nobody knows him. I'll just do this thing because it's so cool. Or maybe he didn't realize, like, oh, you're not allowed to, like, just take somebody's entire
it's more that because
delivery system.
I had a street joke in my act when I first started, and somebody pulled me aside. I was like, you can't do that joke. It's a street joke. But I'm like, okay, I didn't know that.
Which one was that? Was it a fun one?
It was about cum. I think I got it from Maxim magazine. So that's embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing. But yeah, no. But I've talked to comics before who are new, and they're like, I've told one comic, you are doing Mitch Hedberg jokes. Like, you're funny, but like you're literally doing Mitch Hedberg jokes. And then there was a comic that was kind of doing you because he really liked you. But that happens. Like, if you really like a comic, you might accidentally start emulating them a little bit. And he was like, the way he talked was exactly the same way you talked. And I was like, but I finally
boring on a voicemail.
I know. I'm like, listen, you don't want to go down the road Sean the Conver's gone down. Go find your own voice.
Trust me, you don't want to talk like, hi there, please leave a message at the tone. My name is Sean the Conver. Like, oh, wow, I would love to steal that joke delivery system. Hi there, Sean the Conver. Please leave a message at the beep. What are you doing, Kat?
I think it's going to be interesting in the next few years to see what happens to comedy. Because I think there's on one end, people are fucking exhausted of being nice and making sure everybody feels comfortable and safe. And then on the other end, there's people who want to just like, who think that they can just take comedy from whatever. But she jumped on my lap.
That's the first time that she's ever done that.
But I don't know. She tried
to make human contact.
Well, I was like looking into this. Okay, so we didn't talk about last week, but we had a comic friend that passed away, Matt Billen.
Why do you always have to make this sad?
Well, because I want to talk about stuff.
I'm the guy who keeps it light and fun.
Good, because I bring it down.
I'm just kidding.
But no, so because I was like doing, you know, when like and I was reading people's posts and I was finding all these other posts, and there's somebody that has a fake shanty account. I can't remember what it's called, like Wario, like shanty with Wario. And they posted this big long thing about like how she fucking tried to get Matt Billen canceled and actually was very successful at doing it for something that was ridiculous. Like what she did. He had a joke that was about now that I think he said transsexuals. Like this was a few years ago, and he admittedly said I didn't understand any of the terminology. I didn't know that was offensive, and this was at least 5 years ago. And so he said something about now that transsexuals can play in the WNBA, female sports are going to be more watchable, which is an okay joke. It's not awful, but
it's a misogynist joke.
Yeah, it's more of a misogynist joke than it is a transphobic joke. Yeah. But Shanty was like upset about it because they had been in front of him, and I guess they had done a bunch of jokes about trans that everybody loved. And then what they were upset about was that he came on right after. He didn't see the show. He came in like halfway through the show. And what they were upset about was the fact that Matt did that joke after they had done trans and then made all these people laugh at a trans joke, which again, it was more misogynistic than it was transphobic. And they wrote Matt a big long note saying, they were just mad. I can't remember what the note said, but then, and posted it on the internet. They didn't just leave it a nice note for Matt to say that hurt me. They put it on the internet, and then their whole fucking crew of horrifying fan club went after him and did everything they could to cancel him and ruin him. And first of all, he didn't really it's not like he was a famous comedian. Like, what are you trying to prove here? Like, it didn't. So, but then I saw an interview with him where he was talking to another comic about it, and he was like, yeah, I was just like really fucked because like nobody defended me. Like, not one of my friends defended me. My friends just kept on thinking it'll blow over, but it really sucked because none of my friends defended me. And like none of the comics did. But also I'm thinking like if any comic at that time had said something negative about Shanty, they'd be canceled along with them. Like, it's like, it sucks so much that nobody could have like spoken up and said, you know, Matt's, and I did see a few people saying, Matt, it's not that offensive a joke. It's a misogynistic joke. I saw that. But,
But yeah, you can't really get involved.
You can't, but he was so
there's no more empty a gesture than like a private message you get. Like, imagine how many times.
Oh, he said he got a ton of private
you get
messages.
like all these PMs like, thanks, bro.
Yeah, thanks for speaking out.
Thanks for the fucking private message. Thanks for the Snapchat. Thanks for the fucking invisible ink letter.
Yeah.
You know, like Like, hey, I'm in your corner here privately, and just wanted you to privately know between me and you that I support you
but I'm a
in
pussy.
all of this. And
but I don't want to be in
But
your
anyway,
boat.
this is just me and you spitballing. There's no reason for anybody else to know that I ever said this. And but I am 100% in your corner quietly, silently. Silently and quietly, dead silently in your corner. Oh, that's a perfect corner. That's the corner I want to be in. Filled with fucking dead silent support.
No support.
So like, hey, it kind of looks like I'm alone here, fellas.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, no, that's how it should feel.
But I think that
I ain't going down. I'm not getting sent into that pit.
But I think that whole thing really, really affected his mental health and like really affected it. And then I'm thinking, holy shit, like the far left has probably killed many people. Just through their bullying, through their censorship. They probably, because even in the Chappelle special, he talks about his trans friend Daphne, who stood up for him and then later committed suicide. And he's like, I have no way of knowing if it was because of the bullying, but I'm sure it didn't help. So like, I am like getting so sick and tired of everybody being like, oh, let's be safe comedy, but they're willing to destroy a person because they don't think the same way. Like, it's just gotten to the point where like, I don't want to support that side at all. I just want to stay in the middle and try and be as middle as I can because and just be nice. But it's just like I'm
just gonna be the private message guy, man.
Just be the private pussy.
I'm your private message.
A message.
I'll tell you I support you, but that is all I'm willing to
I won't do it publicly.
No.
But it's hard to support people that are getting canceled. Nobody wants to admit that they're friends with somebody that's been canceled. But I think the Matt thing was really hard because it really, really wasn't. And he tried to apologize to them. He tried to say, hey, can we talk about this? He did apologize. And that person would just not accept it. And that's another thing. It's just like, so somebody fucks up and then they realize they fucked up and then they try to make amends and they try to apologize for it. But you won't accept it. It's never a good enough apology.
No, and all of a sudden
so what do you want?
You have some people that have enough power that they can make somebody else no longer a real comedian just by accusation.
Yeah.
Right. So somebody has. There are people that have that power to be like, I can just make a public post, and you're not really a comedian anymore.
Yeah. And Shanty had that power, and then that power bit them right in the butt.
Yeah. Eventually. Yeah.
Eventually. But that's called karma. If you don't know the whole Shanty story, go look it up. There's two comics from Montreal that did a YouTube about it, and it's really good because they explain the whole thing. And and that's another part of the post that that's what it was, that they were saying Matt had stuff taken down from CBC, but Shanty still has stuff up there. Even after they were canceled, they're still being, they're still out there. Like Louis C.K. is like, people are not like, but Shanty, who did basically the same thing that Louis C.K. did, allegedly. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
it's still on CBC.
Yeah, probably true based on the fact that they disappeared.
And this never hit the media. Not like Canadian comedy will ever hit the media, but nothing like ever came out. And that's it's just kind of like, it was kind of like shushed away because they had just won top comic and they had just won like a Juno, and everyone was celebrating this person, and then they turned out to be not a great person, but they're still out there they're not doing comedy anymore that I know of, but
no, but it still looks good, because Canadian comedy is so like under the radar.
Yeah.
You could do anything. I mean, that's why so many snakes are drawn to it, like on the other side.
If there's an American that's up here a lot, you're like, okay.
Yeah, well, and just bookers, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's an unregulated industry, you can do what you want.
Yeah.
So people are just drawn to it. Like, that's kind of cool. I can take all the money and give her $1.
Yeah.
She couldn't take me to small claims court? No, she can't. She said yes to the $1.
That's it.
But the show paid $2,000. Like, yeah, but she said the $1 would be fine. So who cares if they gave her the check and I told her to send the other fucking $999 to me?
It's true.
And then they'll say, there's even bookers in Canadian comedy that will they'll take a 40% commission on a show,
know.
And then charge you the $1.35 e-transfer fee.
Yes, I know.
When they send you the money.
I know.
You just made $900 for sitting on your pussy. And you're going to charge me the $135 on the e-transfer.
Oh, yeah, I know.
That's the kind of human being you are. And they're like, yes. And the funny thing is, it is literally urinating in your eyes, right? Because they could be like, you know what, why don't we just knock $5 off every gig?
Yeah.
And just call that.
But they want to make sure you know.
Yeah, they want you to know.
Yeah.
Like, they could just knock $5 off everything.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, yeah, that's just our banking fee that we charge for processing. They're like, no. This, as we said, minus $135, you fucking piece of shit.
Also, I have e-transfer and I don't pay for e-transfers, so maybe get a better bank account. Like, you fucking, like, when they said that, I was like, that only happens if we get the American one. I've never heard of it.
That's right. They stopped doing it 4 years ago, and we just never stopped. We can't stop. We won't stop. We refuse to stop.
Yeah, it's a shitty business. It really, truly is. And the longer you're in it, the more you're like, fuck. Because the people that are the worst are the ones that stay the longest too. Sometimes it feels like. I guess
it's sort of like life, right? Like any job, you're like, oh my God. Like when you have a job you like, the good people are like, okay, I got other opportunities. I've been headhunted by another organization that thought I was a cool dude at a party. Yeah. And you're like, oh no, I'm going to miss you. And then all the people that nobody ever thought were cool at a party stay. Yeah. And then you're just surrounded by all these people that never like made anybody go, you should work with us. And then that's your crew. Is all the people who never got called. It's sort of like in comedy, like, fuck, all the fucking lunatics stick around. Like, they've never been called to any other location. Yeah. No one's ever said, you should change locations. I'm in another location, and I have opportunities for you in that location. Those are the people that stay, right? Anybody who's been sort of like, hey, you should move. And like, I don't know if I want to. And then after a couple, they're like, all right, I'll move, sure. But, you know, people like us, no one's asked us. No. Right? Well, and you moved. You've done a lot of moving.
Yeah, but I failed everywhere. That just like...
I don't know about failed. You just moved back.
I just moved back. Like, yeah.
You could have stayed in Vancouver.
Yeah, I could have stayed in Vancouver, but Vancouver was just like, it was the financials. It was like, we literally never had money. We were paying $2,300 for rent, and we were never there. Like, I was touring, or Adam was working 16 hours a week getting paid shit from a fucking restaurant that made millions. And like, I don't know. It was just like, and then honestly, the Vancouver scene started to get really, like, there are some people in the Vancouver scene that are complete bullies, that police the whole scene, that will private message people and be like, listen, we heard this story about you and we'll go public with it if you don't, blah, 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 blah. And it's horrifying. Like, there are just like, there's some bad seeds.
That's a good way to make money.
Yeah, that's called blackmailing.
No, but I don't know why it's not happening more often.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I'm sure it is happening.
I'm sure it is happening.
Where it's like, hello there, white straight male comedian.
Yeah.
You know who I am.
Yeah.
Here's a screenshot of how many followers I have on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Like, I have a half a story on you. And
well, it's very
if you give
easy
me $10,000,
to destroy somebody. It really is. And because nobody sits and waits for true proof, they immediately jump on it, and then it's all spreads all over the internet. And then even if you have said anything about it, there's nothing for you. Like, you can't defend yourself.
That's what's crazy is all the stories we don't know.
Oh, right? I know.
Because money just changed hands, and so we never get to know about any of it.
Yeah.
Because it just like... $25,000 and this goes away. Like, you fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Or bastard. I'm sure dudes do it.
Oh, absolutely they do. I'm sure they do. What a weird little funny cat.
Yeah, she's fun.
Because she puts on, like, you can tell that she puts on one of those cats that puts on like a pound every 3 months.
Oh, yeah, I said she was getting chubby too.
Yeah.
But she's cute.
I know, but what are they supposed to do? Those indoor cats, right?
Yeah. I want to get one of those wheels.
Oh my God.
I do.
Are you allowed to do that to cats?
Yeah, they have like it's a giant wheel and it's got carpeting on it. And then like you're supposed to use like a laser pointer to get them used to it. But I'm sure so many people buy this like $300 or $400 wheel, and then their cats look at it like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm not sprinting. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. My cats would be like, go fuck yourself. Is this a giant food bowl? No? Then fuck you.
You've got to be thinner to live longer.
Yeah.
Like, why would I want to live longer? Like, you don't like life? You know, that's why it's so funny how many pet owners think that, like, oh my God, my special animal. If they spoke English, like half of them would be like, kill me.
Oh, I always worry.
How do I get out of here and kill me?
I always worry that when I'm depressed, that I'm making my animals depressed. Like, I'm worried about that. Like I'll be like, because I'm like, well, we'll go outside to pee, but that's it. And then I'm like, feel guilty. I'm like, I gotta go take these guys, and they gotta run around. Because then I'll take them to the dog park, and Dottie will be like, yeah, finally. I'm like, holy shit, I got my shit together. My iron levels.
Oh God.
No.
How do you get tested? Should I get tested?
Yeah, it's a blood test, but like I got like if your iron levels are really low, you're like tired and like you can be sad and stuff. And then I was like,
have you ever taken iron supplements before?
Yeah, I have them. I just keep forgetting.
That's a metal, Kathleen. Oh my God, can you believe this?
I just
bitch?
go lick like.
She's vaccinated.
Metal.
She's eating metal. She's doing whatever the government tells her.
I'm fucking big pharma.
Yeah.
And they're coming in my mouth with pills.
Gross.
Big pharma is just like exploding in my mouth. And I fucking love it.
You're drinking all of it.
I love it.
I, on the other hand, question authority.
You're such a loser.
Yeah.
Have you ever had blood work done?
I'm sure I have, yeah.
Yeah, you probably should have it done.
Do they spin it around and just...
Yeah,
what do they do? They spin it
and they look at it and
Whoa.
they taste it. And they swish it around.
This is very low on iron.
What a terrible job.
That's what I would do if you came into my blood clinic. I would like to have a vial filled with just like fucking, like red
cherry syrup
shit and just be like, just give me a second. Like, and then I'd spit like a little bit of blood, like just enough to trickle down my chin. And then I would look at whoever I had just taken blood from and be like, your iron's low. And you have bowel cancer. But tastes like we got it early. That'd be kind of funny.
That would be funny. Sean should own a blood bank.
Yeah, that would be a fun Just For Laughs gags.
That would be a good gag.
Some guy drinks fake blood that he just took out of you and then tells you have cancer.
Why are those laws in Quebec?
Because it's like where people find it most funny.
Yeah.
It's because Just For Laughs is based out of Montreal, so it's all filmed there. And I've seen comics on it before. Like
French people just are they're better at making faces, right?
I will say, like, as much people make fun of Just For Laughs gags, sometimes they have it on in the nail salon and I'm sitting there giggling my ass off. It's pretty funny.
The odd time you're like, wait a second, you'll see like an ATM where
they always do something about police, which is really funny.
There was one I saw, it was ATM where they put their card in and they like put in $30 and then the lady behind it just like throws a bunch of change out the slot. So it's all like pennies and nickels and they're like, qu'est-ce que c'est là? Oh, ben donc, qu'est-ce que c'est? Or whatever French people say. Because French people have this resting fuck you face.
Yeah, they do. But they also like weird humor.
If you tried to do Just For Laughs gags in Alberta, it wouldn't work because it'd just be everybody like, oh, fucking right on then. Like just everybody makes the same neutral face. I put in my bank card and I fucking pressed 80 and then a bunch of nickels fell out and I just went, oh boy. And then I grabbed the card and fucking off I went. They probably wouldn't even make faces.
No.
Right? So it'd be boring. That's what I think.
I think people would fall for shit. I think people would fall for shit in Alberta.
Because they're all half a clown out there. They're all clowning. They have a clowning culture.
They love clowning. Like that is like a huge part of Quebecois culture is clowning. Like if you go and like watch some of the most successful comedians from Quebec, they're very animated and they're like they act out
weird.
A lot. And
it's weird that they're into silliness. Like
and
culturally,
you
culturally enjoy silliness.
They have to have the Just For Laughs like Quebec style, and they have to have the regular one because the people in Quebec are like, "Where's the funny stuff?"
I know. Like when I see what French people are doing and saying and laughing at, I'm like, do they know we die? Did somebody forget to tell French people that we
French
die?
People don't die.
You just watch a car commercial and they're all like, "Oh, c'est fantastique!" Like they're all Ford Fusion. They're all excited, and it's like, we're all gonna be dead, right? You don't have to be this excited about a Ford Fusion. We're all gonna die. It feels like that's the culture they come from is just denial of our own mortality.
I'm learning French,
which allows them to be silly and weird all the time.
I'm learning French right now.
You're learning French?
Yeah, because I want to maybe try and get a job at WestJet or something.
Oh, Jet West.
And you don't have to have it, but like it helps.
L'Ouest. Jet l'Ouest? Is that what they call it? I don't know.
But so I have this app, but it's funny because like it's like French is very has like masculine and feminine, and I'm like, I bet there are people that are pissed off that French still does that. That French uses gender in their language.
I wonder who. There must be a
like. There's got to be some people out there that are trying to change the French language, but it's
there's
like
got to be.
It is dumb. It is dumb how they have it.
Oh, and their words are all dumb. Quatre-vingt. What? What are you talking about? You can't make up a fucking word for nine. You know what I mean? Like quatre-vingt, dix-neuf. Like D's nuts. Like quatre-vingt, dix nuts. What? You heard what I fucking said. Suck on these testicles and learn to count. But Quatre-vingt, dix-neuf, what the fuck are you talking about? 420s, 19?
Yeah, it's very weird.
Why did you say that? Why did you just say, oh, can you pass me 420s, 19,
Because
please?
that's probably how they say it in English.
But it's like, oh, Gretzky, 420s, 19, my brother. Like,
they do.
Can
have
you
a
just make
great-
up a fucking word for it? Like, they always make fun of English. Like,
Yeah.
oh, your little peasant language. But then it's like, you guys are the ones that say 420s, 19.
Yeah, that's weird.
You know, it's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. And they're rolling around saying it all the time, wasting all their fucking time.
Yeah.
You know, just think of a goddamn word. What was wrong? We did it. 90. It's easy. 99, 98. Quatre-vingt, dix-huit. Shut your mouth.
It is weird. It is a weird language.
So
But
it's going to take you a while to learn, I
language.
think.
Yeah, I think it will. But you can learn any language on here. I want to maybe I'll try to learn German just because it always sounds so funny.
Just because it always sounds
It sounds
so
like you're playing a tuba with your mouth.
Oh
Look, you can
my
learn
God, it sounds so
Spanish, French, German, Italian, Japanese, Chinese, Russian,
just love
Korean, Portuguese, Arabic, Dutch, Swedish, Norwegian. There's a lot of
funny.
languages.
I think Arabic would be the best one.
Arabic would be the best to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Hawaiian. Oh, I guess it'd be like Samoan. Yiddish. You can learn Yiddish. There's no. Why is there no? What's the one that's dead? Latin.
What's the one that's dead? No, so French you're gonna enjoy, I bet.
Well,
you want to work at what? So you want to work at WestJet?
Well, I've been like, I need to figure out to have like a something
Yeah.
fun, and like as I quit the restaurant. Fucking thank God.
Oh, so that finally did.
Well, I quit, and then they're like, oh, well, that's gonna put us. I'm like, oh, well, I can be here for an extra week, I guess. And I'm like, I'm too fucking nice. Like, I hate coming in here. I told them, I'm like, I come in here and I'm sad. Like, I don't want to be here. I don't like it. And it's like, why is it so hard to quit?
Because you think like, oh, it's so hard to quit, but you say things that make it obvious you want out of there. I would never say any of that.
Yeah, no, it's obvious.
I would just continue to work, and then one day I would pretend that I had a heart attack.
Yeah, and like I know people will just not go back, and I'm like, I should just stop going, but I can't do that. I feel like such an asshole for doing that.
Well, you've been there long enough. You want them to say, "Oh, she was good."
Yeah, I don't want to leave on bad terms. I don't dislike anybody. I dislike working in the restaurant industry right now, and it's just like I don't like it.
Can I see your QR code, please?
Yeah, I'm sick of it. And I'm sick of not when they don't scan and they're like, that's weird. Okay, well, just pull it up on the website here. I'll show you with mine. Oh, okay. I can't. I'm like,
don't
okay.
put it up on there.
Okay, well, that's not a real one. And you know what's fun though about
how many times does that happen?
3 to me personally.
Yeah.
So it could many more times if I've had it 3 times. Then
oh yeah, it's an epidemic.
Yeah. But it's like the fake. You really thought that was gonna work? Like, is that what you're trying to tell me? But now you can't fly unless you're vaccinated. You can't even fly with I had a COVID test. You have to actually fully.
Really?
Yep, that's
you gotta have the full meal deal.
As of December 1st. Yeah. So now all inclusive resorts are gonna be awesome because none of the anti-vaxxers are gonna be there being total douchebags.
Yeah, there are many areas of life where you're like, not only are the numbers going to be low, but all the people you don't want there are gone. So you kind of like it.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
You're sort of like, I kind of like this. I'm kind of enjoying this.
And then
the woo guys are not here.
I bet you this is a liberal agenda because they're just trying to segregate us from those
just
people.
Like the woo, that crew,
Yeah.
they're gone.
They're gone.
They're not at the thing. So
Yeah.
you're like, woo!
Yeah.
Like, where'd all the woo guys go? Like, oh, they're at home because they didn't want to fucking...
Wanna
I will not conform to your fucking... Yeah.
All the woo boys are not.
All the woo crew. The woo
The
crew,
woo
their
crew.
dads, and then the people that they came from, their mothers and fathers, You're not just a woo. You're not you're born with that. You're born woo. You have a woo dad and a woo mom. They're both woo
It is
people.
learned. It definitely. Well, look at that fucking kid. And did you see that school shooting?
Oh yeah, and the school shooting, that guy
And
his
their parents are being charged as they
Well,
should be.
And his parents were spotted at some rally wearing like Trump Kennedy 2021 hoodies.
Oh God.
Which is like full QAnon, right?
Yeah.
So, it's full JFK.
Crazy.
Always been alive, coming back, him and Trump 2021. And so is it a surprise that their kid would is the kind of person who would shoot people. Probably not.
And sadly, when you see him, you're like, yeah, this kid was definitely bullied. Like, this kid definitely did not fit in. But you know what? That's because he was raised by crazy people. Like, when you're raised by that, I always go into rabbit holes when this shit happens. So I was watching all these school shooter videos, and one of the ones where they showed a kid being taken down, and the kid's basically saying is like, I was raised by crazy people, and the cop's like, what the fuck? He's like, no, my parents are crazy. Like, if you go to their house and try and they will shoot you. He's like, I'm raised by crazy people. I'm crazy. So it's like, yeah, I think people should have to have a license to parent as of now. I think you should. I don't think anybody that feels like coming inside of someone should be automatically a parent. Because, like, look at this. And I'm glad that, and I hope these people go to jail. Because they said they gave him a gun for his birthday. He posted all over it's all over social media. They were at the school that morning having a conversation about violence and how they were worried about this kid. And they refused to take him home. And then he shot up the fucking school and killed 4 kids. And
I wonder how often it happens where, like, there's a school with, like, whatever, 3,000 students.
Yeah.
And then you're a parent at work and you hear, like, there's somebody's an active shooting and you're like, oh my God, my son's doing that.
I bet you it happens a lot.
Well, that's what happened to her, right?
Yeah.
She knew right away it was him.
They left, yeah.
He knew right away it was him.
Yeah.
It's like,
she texted him like, don't.
Yeah. Don't keep doing it.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Mom. I'll stop now that 3 are dead.
Oh my God.
Mom, stop. You're always doing this.
So embarrassing.
You're always trying to stop me from shooting everybody.
You told me I should have goals.
And then, like, I'm here to take you home, Chad. And he's like, Mom, you're embarrassing me in the hallway.
It's fucked up.
They're going to bully me worse now.
Oh, and then you see the videos of the kids, like, in the classes.
I didn't see the videos. I didn't look at.
Well, they had this one video where they had these kids in a class, and then someone knocks on the door, and then they're like, "You're safe. It's okay." And they're like, "What?" And the teacher's like, "Yeah, hadn't heard from his whoever," and he's like, "Well, we're not gonna do this right now. We'll wait." And the guy keeps knocking. He's like, "No, you can come out." And he says, "Bro," at one point, and the kids are literally like, "Bro, red flag," and they take off. Like, kids are fucking. But it's only in America, too. Like, kids that go to school here, do your kids do scooter drills? Shooter drills?
Shul scooter?
I've had friends whose kids have...
In Canada?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Fuck.
It's like a thing.
That's awful. That these kids are going to this one place. They're going to this one place, and they have to, like, be prepared for warfare. Oh, it's fucked up. Like, no one, I don't want to have kids. Like, no. It's too fucking, I can't imagine.
I think that if your child shoots other children at school and as soon as you heard about it at work.
Yeah, and you
knew it was him, you should be in jail.
You should be in jail.
You should absolutely be in jail.
Because you knew what was going on.
You're a terrible parent.
You're a terrible parent.
How the fuck could you? There's 3,000 kids that go to this school.
Absolutely. I mean.
And you hear about one of them shooting and you're like, oh boy, that's my son. You're at the bank and everybody else is like, oh my God, you've got to go see if Chad's okay. Like, I'm not worried about Chad. I'm worried about all those other kids Chad's shooting is what I'm worried about. And like, you think he did it? Like, oh boy. I can't get into it now, ladies. Close my till. I'll be back in an hour.
Well, and that family's going to get, like, it's America. They're going to be sued the shit out of. Like, they're never
They haven't
be
quite, it's weird because conservatives haven't figured out how to Rittenhouse these guys yet.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. They haven't
figured
it out
heroes?
Yet. What they usually do is blame the school administrators because they know that generally speaking school administrators are liberal. So they usually will be like, it has nothing to do with guns, parents, or children. This is those administrators not looking at that backpack. So they'll spin it and try to put it on liberals if they can, but they still haven't found a way to Rittenhouse. You know, we would have to convince them that this was like this. It wasn't a school. It was a Black Lives Matter assembly. Like, well, that fucking kid probably was keeping those lockers clear.
Well, then there's people that are like, I mean, they're not, maybe this is how they're trying to do it. They're like, well, that kid was clearly bullied. Clearly he was mentally abused by other kids. There was other kids that said, well, that one kid that got shot was one of his worst bullies, and like that he was targeted because he was so awful to him. And it's just like, so now they're kind of they're trying to be like, you should have some sympathy for this poor kid because I'm sure, look at his face, that kid was bullied.
No, never mind that. Look at his parents.
Yeah.
As soon as it says parents.
Yeah, his parents. Yeah, he was probably bullied by his parents and bullied by kids at school. That poor kid, that is shitty. But like, holy fuck, like.
Nah.
I heard his.
You can't do that.
Mother got caught smoking weed at work once, and they're like, "We're gonna tell your parents," and he's like,
"Who cares?" Yeah, they gave it to me. Yeah, no parenting licenses. That needs to happen. They need to have some sort of like vaccination.
But that's what I was wondering about is like, because this is maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like this is the first time where it's like, okay, this kid shoots a bunch of people at school and immediately we kind of know the text history. Like immediately we know like what mom was texting, what dad was texting. Like, yeah. And how many times has this happened before where we didn't have that information readily available immediately, but the parents knew? Like, because I'm sure it happens almost every time where like a parent is at work and then like, oh my God, Roger, you got to take the rest of the day off. Your son might be in danger at school. And then he's like, it's not. He's probably the one fucking doing it. You know, like, and it's like, you what are you not doing in jail then? You're at work. And you know that your son has the potential to be an active shooter at a school. Yeah. What the fuck are you doing here? Like, put him in a fucking cage. Yeah. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck about your dumb kid. Yeah. He's got mental problem. Put him in a fucking giant cage. Someone. I don't give a fuck how he lives.
Well, and
he's not allowed to kill other people.
I'm sure that was another thing too, is that the school's not allowed to just be like, fuck this kid, get him out of here. He's dangerous. They're not allowed to do that. And the parents are probably like, you can't kick him out of school. This is like the only school
they have their Trump Kennedy. Of course. They have their Trump Kennedy hoodies, right? They look at school administrators as part of evil, like not even part of the problem, an evil liberal pedophilic plot.
Yeah.
Right. So you see all these people as an extension of the devil.
Yeah.
And so I mean, it's it makes sense that parents were like, my kid stays here, you liberal fucking blood-eating fucking pedophile.
Totally.
Trying to make me take a vaccine and my son take a vaccine and you're fucking poisoning my son and microchipping us. Like, they probably weren't that against the idea of him having a gun and protecting himself at school with a gun. They
gave him a gun. Of course they weren't against
supported the idea of him openly saying, don't fuck with me, I have a gun.
They probably said, here, have this gun, show it to people and scare them.
Put it on social media. Let people know that you have a gun. Well, draw pictures of guns.
Like, even in one of the kids' videos, one of the kid was like, he said something like, oh, he's following up on his word. He said he was going to do this. So the kids knew it was going to happen. There was always like, because I was in I was in grade 12
the year Columbine thing that happened in your high school?
Craziest thing. I don't even know about. There was nothing crazy. I think we've talked about this before. I don't think there was anything crazy. But like, I was in grade 12 the year Columbine happened. And that was in April. And we were graduating in like June.
Was that the first one that happened?
I don't know if it was the first. It was like the biggest, most horrifying one.
First biggie.
Yeah. And so that one. Before
that, it was like school musket.
And that one, they
just a slow moving giant bullet. Pop. Just barely pierces your skin and you're dead.
Oh my God.
That's the worst.
But the Columbine one, what they wanted to do was blow up the school and kill everyone. Like they had bombs in there, and then the bombs didn't go off, so that's why they went into the school and just started shooting, because they were going to shoot kids as they were running out from a hill.
And where are those kids now? Did they die?
They died. Yeah, they killed themselves.
They killed themselves after. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this kid was just like, oh, cops are here. I guess I'll give up.
Also, like, fuck, that kid, I don't know. It's got to be shitty to be alive and in that head. But
I don't give a fuck. But like, I personally don't fucking care. Like, I don't care about, like, I'm sorry, but I had that. You don't kill people, period.
You don't kill
people. As soon as you have decided to kill, like, fuck you. I don't care what your mental problem is. I don't give a fuck
it's a big
what your emotional state was. I don't care. You killed people, you go away forever. Mm-hmm. Don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Well, that
doesn't matter. I don't care if he was mercilessly bullied every day. I don't give a fuck. Put him in a cage, keep him in your backyard.
Yeah.
Don't let him be anywhere where he can hurt other people.
When are we going to realize that some people are damaged beyond repair? It's just a thing. Some people are fucking damaged beyond repair.
Fucked, but you wouldn't kill people.
But they're called he's obviously a sociopath or something like that. Like he's obviously, and we have the technology. They can test for this gene that will tell you that they have a psychopath gene.
Really?
Yeah, there's a guy that's been.
Nobody ever submits for that, do they?
Nobody.
What if I had it?
That's where they submit for.
I don't want to fucking do that. But they're like, sorry, Sean, you're a psychopath. You're well adjusted, though.
Get some blood work done. But there's a guy who I heard a podcast with. Oh, this guy's psycho.
Stage 3. Yeah, he's drinking fake blood and telling everybody they have cancer. I just checked the cameras. It's true. He was doing it for a year.
There was a guy I listened to a podcast where he has the psycho gene, but he came from a very well-adjusted, normal family where he grew up happy. He had a great childhood, And so the gene never mutated or whatever. I'm not a scientist, but then they go back and they look at like other like serial killers that they have tested, and they did find the gene, and those people had horrifying mothers that abused them or did something else to them, or terrible family upbringings, like, and that's when the gene.
It shows you like how how much more important moms are than dads.
Moms are so important. Moms are the most important. Like, I don't,
for sure.
Over dads.
If you have a terrible mom,
you're gonna be fucked for
you're
life.
Fucked.
Yeah.
If you have a bad dad, it's like
you're gonna fuck a lot of people.
Half of the time you don't even. Yeah.
You're not gonna you're gonna get fucked, but you're not gonna be
you don't
fucked.
even know you had a bad dad.
Yeah.
You know, because somebody, one of your best friends always has a worse one.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, well, better than my dad.
Yeah.
But my dad's not very nice. Like, who's better than my dad?
Well, because your mom
another
is
guy's
supposed
like,
to.
well, my dad's not even around. So then your dad gets to just be like, hey, I'm around.
I'm not
Look at me, I'm around. I didn't go anywhere.
I'm drunk all the time, but I am here.
Yeah, I'm not some absentee hiccup, father. I'm here to watch my kids grow up, all 9 of them.
Yeah, I don't think everybody should be able to have kids.
Well,
or every school should have a team of psychologists. I don't know, but I don't think that kid. I don't think they could have done anything for that kid. I knew a kid's like I went to like this like middle class, maybe middle upper elementary school, and then there was one kid, I remember him, he came into our class in like grade 3, and he was clearly from, there were 2 of them actually, like they clearly from not the very lower class families. And then they were like so angry and like so like they were very weird, so it was like hard for people not to bully them, you know, like because they were so different. But you saw that they came from a very like low socioeconomic and
low status.
And then they had to go to school with middle to super rich kids who were probably, well, I know they were, some of them were horrible. And like,
where did you get those pants? Yeah, like all of a sudden you're like, oh man,
like you wore those jeans yesterday, like that
ew.
kind of shit.
Yeah, like all of a sudden you're getting bullied, but it's not even like your nose. You're like, she has a perfectly fine nose and her hair's fine and her cheeks are good, but those jeans are fucked.
Yeah.
Like you're getting like razzed for things that have nothing to do with you. You're just like, I am who I am, and then my mom put me in this shirt. Nice shirt.
Or you smell bad because your parents don't keep you clean. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. Like it's crazy. It's awful.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. This has been a weird Kathleen's been ranting and raving. Naming names, ranting and raving.
Ranting and raving, going fucking nuts, talking about Eugene. Oh, well. Yeah, we did like how many hours did we do?
8. Is this an 8-hour podcast? What are we at?
This is number 99.
Oh, this is 99? Should we dress up for the next one?
Dress up. Quatre-vingt, dix-neuf.
Oh, this is Quatre-vingt, dix-neuf. Is that the name of the episode?
This is our 42019 podcast.
Kathleen doesn't care about your feelings.
I don't. I like that name. I've said that many times on this podcast. That's not news. I don't care about anybody's feelings.
I can't seem to find that fucking thing.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah, I don't care about people's feelings anymore because everyone is way too in their own fucking feelings. It's just too exhausting to care about feelings. Okay, let's see.
What did we do?
Let's see. Nominee ticket.
well. I mean, you've got to be it takes work to be this bad.
Yeah.
At Scratch and Wins, like it takes work to be
and
this
money.
bad.
Is it more lucky?
Yeah.
Like more lucky that we've been so bad than it would be to actually win?
Yeah, exactly.
I think we should approach.
I think this is the luck that nobody's talking about that Jim just mentioned is how lucky we are to never have won.
Oh, how lucky are we?
Because people would randomly.
Yeah.
Buying this many tickets, you should have won
something by now.
And if we were keeping track, honestly, it maybe our winnings are under $100.
Yeah.
glad we didn't keep track.
I think we won $50
but our winnings are
once.
under $100.
By 99 episodes.
Oh, that's
wow.
We're going to have sunk a few dollars.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
no.
99 tickets, and we've won under $100.
Now I'm upset. Don't tell me this math. Fuck. We should contact Western Canada Lottery and get them to sponsor this podcast because we think they're a sham.
They are.
And then we'll win, and they'll be like, "Oh, but you're sponsored by them."
Yeah. True. But I'll be like, yeah, so.
Who are we sponsored by? CHO and...
Cho and Northern Queen. I just haven't been out there for a couple of weeks to pick up our...
I'm not saying that you should pick up from them. I'm saying you just talk about it.
They are sponsored from...
They're fun. They have great edibles, and they're good.
They are good. They made my
Try
wedding cake.
My mom wants a Christmas cake.
Oh, yeah. She's got a whole Christmas.
Really?
She's got grab bags. It's good season now. She's got the grab bags. That's when you like get a whole bunch of different stuff. Yeah, they have like Christmas cake, Christmas truffles. Is it like Christmas like fruitcake?
I don't know.
I hate my aunt. I was at my aunt's house, and she's like, she put fruitcake out, and I was like, oh, I'm not even gonna pretend to want to eat it. Like,
yeah, that's like starvation stuff.
Who
that's
eats
like
fruitcake?
that's the kind of thing you'd eat if you were starving.
Oh my god, it's disgusting.
It's the only cake that you would never eat unless you were on an empty stomach. Like,
yeah,
you'd have to be like, I'm starving. What do you have? I have Christmas cake. Okay. Give me some Christmas cake.
I guess I'll have some Christmas cake.
No, it's the tofu of dessert.
It's disgusting.
Yeah,
it's
horrifying.
nothing.
It's not good. There's nothing about it that's good.
No, every fruit that they put in there is disgusting. Like, it's like, hey, do you want a loaf of raisins? Gross. But they're also like big and chunky and super sweet.
They're just gross.
I don't even like those cherries that they put on top of sundae. I hate maraschino cherries.
No, who the fuck eats that?
People eat it.
Ugh.
Weirdos.
Okay, well, thanks for doing another episode.
Thank you.
99, up to Quatre-vingt, dix-neuf.
Let's see if we make it
Those
to
super
song.
creative French people that just combine numbers and
Quatre-vingt,
they're so
dix-neuf.
smart and so much better than us, but they can't think of fucking words for 90.
Yeah, and some of their words, like they have phrases for our one word.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Like that doesn't make sense to me.
Figure it out, French people.
Figure it out, Frenchies.
Fucking idiots. Bye.
Bye, you dumb Frenchies.